Hello and welcome to the Dutching channel. It's Thursday the 9th of May 2024, coming round to 9:20 in the evening, and we've just finished our day's gambling at Chester, Brighton and Chelmsford. They were the three UK flat meetings today. Unfortunately, it hasn't been a great day. So let's go on and have a look. And you'll see today that we've laid out £700. We've only returned 490.65 and lost £209 and 35 pence. Now what that equates to, if you're in the Dutching club itself, you still would be winning 7.17 points. Okay, I'll put it that way because everyone stakes different kinds of money. So we're still up for the month, so there's no worries about that. But when I look at today, I can only think unlucky. That's all it boils down to today. But we'll have a look back in just a moment. You'll see in the right-hand corner there, that's the loss to a £50 stake, which is just over 4 points. 14 races today, and we'll start at Chester where we had 6 races. 2 of those races was a return but lower than what we staked. 1 was a bit higher than what we staked, and we did have a winner as well. So Chester saw us get a loss there of £92.73. I was really hoping with the 3 races at Chester tonight we were going to get at least 2 winners there, but we only got 1 winner, so that was another £50 loss. And as you can see at Brighton, we've drawn 3 times under the stake and we've had a winner as well. So at Brighton we lost £66.62, so it was a loss all round today. But you'll see what I mean by being unlucky. But of course, unlucky doesn't put money in the bank, as we know. But at least it means looking at the selections is that it isn't all doom and gloom when you think everything's miles away, but it wasn't. So starting at the first meeting here, which was Chester, Democracy Dilemma. It was a long way down, but I did have it. But it wasn't enough to get our stake back. So a bit disappointing there for the 130. Then the same in the next race as well, the 235. I know Never So Brave was pretty much even money, but we had so many above it, and it left us, a really poor amount to have on the favourite. We didn't have the second in that race either, so it wasn't even close. Going back to the first race, we did have the second, Copper Knight, and that was very close to winning. And also Vintage Clarets, that was third. That race could have gone either way as they went to the line. It was that close. So Never So Brave was an easy winner of that one anyway. Then we had our first proper loser where we didn't get anything back. This was in the 305, turned into a tactical race in the end, 4-runner race. God's Window got left at the start, that blown its chances. And Capulet for Ryan Moore. Well, you can really see that there's only 5 lengths between the whole field here, or 4.5 lengths. So it was always going to be a tactical run affair, but we just couldn't get that winner. And then in the 340, Arrest run poor again. In my head I said that couldn't win, but if I give it up there with the points, that's how I do it. I don't do it what I think. And the second selection we gave here was Point Lonsdale. Well, the further they went, the further Point Lonsdale went away. And that was a bit of a profit. Not much, but £20 on top of our stake. Then we went into the 410. And Tony Montana. This one we had as our third selection. It was always going well, but was it going to get past Loyal Touch, which was our rank outsider? And it did with ease and won well in the end. So that got us on the board. But when you look there, we've only got one loser, but we've had two selections that have been under our money back and one just over our money back, one losing, one winning. So it is a very, very difficult day at Chester. Then we went into the last race at Chester and they backed this off the boards, 410 Fever. And it did win well. I've got to be honest, did win well. We did have Contacto for our second selection, which would have got us around £40 back. And our third selection, if that would have won, would have made it completely different. But they always do when you get another winner. So that was Chester. I'd put that down as an unlucky day at Chester. Then we went into Brighton. You can see from down the bottom here again, we've got 3 returns that are under the amount of what we staked. And we've had days like this before, and I don't like them at all, but there's nothing you can do about it. Then we started with Brighton 218. A pint of beer comes down to that last selection again. The only thing I do say is that it's better to do that bet than not do it at all. So it's better to get some kind of return out of it. And of course we had the second there, which was media guessed at 12.5. So again, that could have been all different. Then into the 318, we didn't really fancy the favourite here. 195 it went off. And it was struggling for most of the way there. Brighton's a hard track to win at. And I thought to myself, well, as long as this Agile doesn't come through and win, we're okay. And then a 41.73 winner came through, Remarkable Flight, gave us the first and the second, so we weren't in no problems at all with that race. Then in the 353, this was one of my notebook horses. Run well, but you could see about 2 or 3 furlongs from home it wasn't going to win, but it plugged on to be fourth. So I was happy with that. But it wasn't a selection like Nat, get on it, can't lose. It's one of those notebook horses that you just need to keep doing every time it runs, because it will win at some point. And then Chinthurst, it was our last selection again. So they do get pretty frustrating. If you just had it one above it, there'd been £100 return. You get it underneath, you're talking £12, £13 return, which is no good really. And even in that race, even if it hadn't won, we wouldn't have had the second anyway. Then we moved into the next race. This was the 423. I thought about 3 furlongs out that Voodoo Ray was going to wrap this race up, but then it got itself in trouble and then it came again. So it did well really. But I was hoping that Moodahim would come through, or Moodlahim would come through. That finished second. But again, when you looked at the stakes here, we got it back about £40, I think. So it was another £10 loss. But the difference of just getting these ones that I highlight in light orange, the difference of those and just one in green is a vast amount of money. And to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those in one day takes some doing as well. And then in the last race at Brighton, Hannah's return went clear, and they were scrapping for second and third coming towards the line, and I had both of them 30 and 9.69. They were closing on the leader, but they weren't really going to get there. So again, I'd like to say that meeting was unlucky as well. And then at Chelmsford tonight, we started off with the first loser. This was a an apprentice race. But to be looking at the race, they were so strung out, you wouldn't think any of them had ever ridden a horse before. And then the favourite came through, and that took me right out. I was hoping Alfred Cove was going to hold on, which was second, but Amazement just come flying past it. And I think it wasn't the jockeys that got any of those horses home. I think it was the horse themselves, to be honest. Then into the second race there. This was another one where I thought to myself, are we going to get taken over by the King's horse here, Reaching High? But Prima Lara came through, left it a little bit late, but won it in the end convincingly. And that was our first winner at Chelmsford. So that got us underway, and we had one loser, one winner. And I thought, well, if we just get another winner, it won't make it look too bad. And then in the 9 o'clock, Conquest of Power, one last time out. That come through and won, and of course I had the second and the third there, but they were never going to catch the winner. So again, when you look at all these unlucky ones in orange that I've had there. We've had, I think it was 4 out of the 5 losers. We had the second placed horse. But of course, as I like to say, it doesn't really matter, because being unlucky doesn't put you anything in the bank. The only good thing it does is tells you you're still doing something right with the selections that you're picking. So that's been the result show tonight. I'm going to put up tomorrow's selections, and we hope that it gets a bit better tomorrow, but that's just one of them days, I'm afraid. So we'll catch up in the next video, and thanks for watching.